It's been 2 years since the Taliban restricted schoolgirls from receiving an education beyond 6th grade. And a report now suggests that Afghanistan is the only country with restrictions on female education. But what has the world done about this? Has the United Nations and the world leaders failed the women of Afghanistan, who continue to reel daily under archaic diktats that have been put in place by the Taliban?
In Afghanistan, a staggering 70% of the population needs humanitarian assistance, with the rights of women and girls systematically denied.
These words of United Nations General Secretary Antonio Guterres echoed at the opening of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly held in New York. The rights of Afghan women and children are high on the UNGA agenda this year. But the question remains, how much is really happening on the ground? How much is just lip service? It's been a string of patriarchal and misogynist Taliban diktats in Afghanistan since the group grabbed power in 2021, and it's done under the garb of interpreting Islamic law. Girls and women are barred from higher education. Public spaces like parks are out of bounds for them. They're even forbidden from earning a livelihood. Case in point, the shutting down of beauty salons. Perhaps the most shocking was this. Girls' education beyond 6th grade stopped, and no rules for males. The UN Children's Agency says over 1 million girls are affected by the ban. It triggered global condemnation and remains the Taliban's biggest hurdle in gaining recognition as the legitimate rulers of Afghanistan. The Taliban's perspective on girls' education partly comes from a specific school of 19th century Islamic thought, and partly from rural areas where tribalism is entrenched. Women's rights activist and analyst Meena Mumtaz said the ban on girls' higher education has sparked a growing number of early or forced marriages in the families.
The ban on higher education for girls has changed the mindset of some families. They believe now that their daughter can't study anymore, it is better for them to get married, which has sparked the growing number of early marriages.
Voices of human rights are being brutally suppressed. Meet these women from Afghanistan who are living in the hope that one day they will be able to go back to study.
I was in 10th grade when I heard that I could no longer go to school. I was very upset that day. This is my uniform, which I still have. I just hope that the schools are open again so I can put on my uniform and go back to school.
These words should be heard by all the world leaders who assembled at the United Nations General Assembly and should come up with an immediate solution to end this nightmare. Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, during his address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York, said that his country continues to coordinate international efforts in Afghanistan and appealed everyone to help towards betterment of women trapped in the country.
We continue to coordinate international efforts and facilitate dialogue with the United Nations and the countries concerned, in addition to the caretaker government of Afghanistan, to ensure compliance to the Doha Agreement, to avoid the reoccurrence of past mistakes, and to prevent Afghanistan from spiraling into a difficult-to-manage humanitarian crisis or becoming a safe haven for terrorist individuals and groups. We also have to work to ensure that the Afghan people receive the needed international support and assistance and enjoy human rights, particularly minority rights and women's rights to education and work.
In May, the Qatari Prime Minister held secret talks with the Supreme Leader of the Taliban, an effort to resolve its tensions with the international community, signaling a new willingness by Afghanistan's rulers to discuss ways to end their isolation. Yet, the fact remains, the Taliban is not stopping with the implementation of their vision of Sharia. They are not backing down easily. Sanctions, frozen assets, the lack of official recognition, and widespread condemnation have made little difference. At the same time, there is a desire within Afghanistan for the Taliban to have some kind of international acceptance, even if it's not recognition, so the economy can reboot itself. On the rights issue, there's big talk and tall language. Any breakthrough remains as remote as ever.
The Taliban Public Relations Department released this video on how to revive the country's economy. The caption wrote, "Visit the magnificent nation of Afghanistan, the real land of the free and the home of the brave, unlike the Americans, a rugged country inhabited by muscular men and traditional women. You will be 100% safe since the war is over and we no longer capture tourists for ransom." Moreover, days after promoting Afghan tourism, the Taliban detained staffers of a non-governmental organization that included a foreigner. They were prosecuted for promoting Christianity. Shocking, isn't it?